Okay, good morning, grade 5. We will be discussing addition and subtraction of similar and dissimilar fraction. So before we start, let's have an opening problem. Emily walks 5/8 of a kilometer to school and George walks 7/8 of a kilometer to school. How far do they walk altogether? So let's have this example. So Emily is on the left and George on the right. So they are both going to school, but they walk of a different distance. Emily is 5/8 kilometer of a kilometer and George walks 7/8 of a kilometer. How far do they walk altogether? So let's have this one. So let's think and talk. So 5/8 and 7/8. So you need to get those two fractions. And you need to add them. So if we're going to add fractions, the denominator should be similar. Because you cannot add fractions if they have different denominators. Remember, okay? So if the denominator is 8, you could just write 8. Copy the denominator. Then, if you're going to add the numerator, which is 5 and 7, it makes 12. So our answer is 12 over 8. Okay? But, you need to simplify 12 over 8 by dividing 12 by 8. So, 12 divided by 8 is 1. So, 1 times 8 is 8. So, 12 minus 8 is 4. So, it will be 1 and 4 over 8. So, it is 1, the numerator is 4, and the denominator is 8. That is 1 and 4, 8. But wait, there's more. 1 and 4, 8 is not yet in simplified form. 4 over 8 is still a proper fraction that has a common factor between 4 and 8. So you need to divide it by their common fraction. Common factor. Okay, it's not yet finished. So you need to divide it by 4 over 4, which is the common factor of 4 and 8. So you need to copy the whole number first. Baka kasi makalimutan, maisulat nyo lang po is 1 over 2. So you need to write first the whole number. And your final answer, since 1 and 2 has no common factor anymore, so our final answer will be 1 and 1/2. Okay po? So let's complete the details. So 1 and 1/2 of a kilometer. So yun yung travel nila. 1 and 1/2 kilometer. Okay? So let's have another example. JM ate 7/10 of a pizza, while Gab ate 4/10 of a pizza. How much pizza they ate altogether? So get 7 over 10 and 4 over 10. By writing it down, you could write it vertically or horizontally. Kanina we have written it vertically. So we could also do this horizontally, yung magkapantay lang sila. So what they ate altogether indicates that you need to add the following fraction. Okay? So 7 over 10 plus 4 over 10, you need to copy the denominator 10 since it is 10. Then 7 plus 4 is 11. So 11 over 10 is what kind of fraction? Yes, it is an improper fraction because the numerator 11 is greater than the denominator 10. So what do we need to do to simplify this one? We need to divide the numerator to simplify. Divide 11 over 10. How many 10 goes into 11? 1. And 11 minus 10 is 1 over 10. So that is 1 and 1/10. And that will be our final answer. They ate 1 and 1/10 of the pizza or 1 and 1/10 pizza. So isang buong pizza at isang piraso na hinati sa 10. Okay? So let's watch this video for added information.
Hi, I'm Rob. Welcome to Math Antics. In this lesson, we're going to learn mixed numbers. If you're not quite sure what mixed numbers are, then you should definitely watch our video called Mixed Numbers first. As you remember, a mixed number is a combination or sum of a whole number and a proper fraction. And for this lesson, it's going to be important to remember that even though the plus symbol isn't usually shown between those two parts of a mixed number, they're being added together. 3 1/4 means 3 plus 1/4. 2 5/8 means 2 plus 5/8. Here's why that's so important to remember. Let's say you're given a problem where you need to add the whole number 2 to the mixed number 3 1/4. We know that 3 1/4 is the same as 3 plus 1/4, and you can see that the problem is really 2 plus 3 plus 1/4. Well, that's easy. All you have to do is add the 2 and the 3 to get 5, and you'll have 5 plus 1/4, which is the mixed number 5 1/4. So if you need to add a whole number to a mixed number, you just add the whole number parts and you're done. Okay, but what if you need to add a mixed number to a fraction, like in the problem 1 3/8 plus 1/8? Again, if you remember, 1 3/8 means 1 plus 3/8, and you can see that this problem is really 1 plus 3/8 plus 1/8. That looks pretty easy also. 3/8 and 1/8 are what we call like fractions. They have the same denominator and can be added easily. 3/8 plus 1/8 equals 4/8. So our answer is simply the mixed number 1 4/8. Oh, but you might notice, the fraction part can be simplified. 4/8 simplifies to 1/2, so we should write our answer as 1 1/2 instead. It's not mathematically wrong if you don't simplify a fraction, but teachers and tests usually require you to simplify whenever you can, so it's a good habit to get into. Notice that in each of those examples, we just added whole numbers to whole numbers, fractions to fractions. And it works the same way when adding a mixed number to a mixed number, like 2 1/5 plus 4 2/5. Again, let's show our mixed numbers with the plus signs so we can see the real problem. 2 plus 1/5 plus 4 plus 2/5. Because all of these parts are being added, and addition has the commutative property, it really doesn't matter what order we do the addition in. That means we can rearrange this problem to make it simpler. Now we have 2 plus 4 plus 1/5 plus 2/5. Adding the whole numbers is easy. 2 plus 4 equals 6. And adding these like fractions is easy too. 1/5 plus 2/5 equals 3/5. That leaves us with 6 plus 3/5, which is the mixed number 6 3/5. So when you add mixed numbers, you can just add the whole number parts to get the whole number of the answer. You add the fraction parts to get the fraction part of the answer. That's why in a lot of math books, you'll see the addition of mixed numbers written in a stacked form like this. This is similar to the way you would stack multi-digit numbers up to add. And it helps you remember that you can add the fraction parts and the number parts in 2 separate columns, and write your answer below the answer line just like a multi-digit addition. And do you remember how in multi-digit addition, the column of digits added up to 10 or more, you had to carry or regroup to the next column? Well, something similar to that can happen when adding mixed numbers. Sometimes adding the fraction parts of 2 mixed numbers actually affects the whole number part of the answer. See what I mean by that? Let's say you hosted a massive pizza party for all your friends. Hey man, this is a great party. You got some really cool friends. Hey, thanks. You should hang out with us more often. I think you'd really fit in. And after the party ended, you had 1 3/8 cheese pizzas left over, and 1 5/8 pepperoni pizzas left over. What's the total amount of leftover pizza? Well, we just need to add those 2 mixed numbers together. Let's stack them like I just showed you, add them column by column. 3/8 plus 5/8 equals 8/8. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So the answer is 2 8/8. Do you see what happened? The fraction parts of the 2 mixed numbers combine to form what I call a whole fraction, 8/8. We know that 8/8 simplifies to 1. So having 2 plus 8/8 is the same as having 2 plus 1, which is 3. We added 2 mixed numbers together and ended up with the whole number 3. And our leftover pizza shows us that we got the answer right. Here's another example that shows how the fraction parts can affect the whole number part of the answer when adding mixed numbers. 1 3/7 plus 2 5/7. This time we use the commutative property to rearrange the addition, and then we add the whole number parts. 1 plus 2 equals 3. And then we'll add the fraction parts. 3/7 plus 5/7 equals 8/7. So the answer we get is 3 8/7. But do you notice something funny about the fraction part of that answer? It's an improper fraction. which means that its value is greater than 1. And it's really bad form to leave an improper fraction in a mixed number like this, because, as we saw in the last video, the improper fraction itself can be converted into a mixed number. 8 over 7 contains a whole fraction that we can simplify out of it. It's the same as 7 over 7 plus 1 over 7. And since 7 over 7 equals 1, that gives us the mixed number 1 and 1 7. So just like in the last example, we can add that extra 1 to the whole number part of our answer, which gives us 4 and 1 7. It's a much less confusing answer than 3 and 8 sevenths, which almost sounds like it's less than 4, but it's actually more than 4. Are you getting it so far? Adding mixed numbers is pretty easy when you realize that you can just add the whole number parts and the fraction parts separately, and then just watch for cases where the fraction parts add up to more than 1. But there are cases where adding mixed numbers can get a little bit tougher. All of the examples we've seen so far had fraction parts that were like fractions. But what if you had to add two mixed numbers with unlike fractions, like this problem, 1 and 1/2 plus 2 and 1/4? If we rearrange the problem as usual, we see that the whole numbers are still easy to add. 1 plus 2 equals 3. But the fractions have different denominators. We can't add them until we change them so that the bottom numbers are the same. We cover how to change fractions so that they have the same bottom number or a common denominator in other videos that you may want to watch if the steps I'm about to do seem new to you. 4 is a multiple of 2, so 4 is going to be a good choice for a common denominator. We change 1/2 into fourths, we'll multiply it by the whole fraction 2 over 2. On the top, we have 1 times 2, which is 2. On the bottom, we have 2 times 2, which is 4, just like we want. So now we have 2 fourths plus 1/4, which equals 3 fourths. That means the answer to this problem is 3 and 3 fourths. That wasn't so bad after all. Let's try one more example where we need to change unlike fractions into like fractions in order to add the mixed numbers. 3 and 2/3 plus 4 and 3 fourths. After rearranging the parts, we see that we need to add 3 and 4, which is 7. We also need to add 2/3 and 3 fourths. Since these are unlike fractions, we need to change them. 3 and 4 are not multiples of each other, so it looks like using the easiest common denominator would be our best option. 3 times 4 equals 12, so that will be our new denominator. To convert 2/3, we multiply it by 4 over 4, which gives us the new equivalent fraction, 8 over 12. And to convert 3 fourths, we need to multiply it by 3 over 3, which gives us the new equivalent fraction, 9 over 12. Now that we have like fractions, we can add them easily. 8 over 12 plus 9 over 12 equals 17 over 12. And that gives us 7 and 17/12 as our answer. But once again, the fraction part is improper, so we have to simplify it because its value is greater than 1. 17 over 12 is the same as 12 over 12 plus 5 over 12, which is the mixed number 1 and 5/12. We need to add that 1 to our whole number part. 7 plus 1 equals 8, which means our final answer is 8 and 5/12. Alright, that should give you a pretty good idea of how to add mixed numbers. You can add the whole number parts and the fraction parts separately, but the fraction part of the answer may affect the whole number part if its value is 1 or greater. And remember, if the fraction parts have different denominators, you need to change them to have a common denominator before you can add them. With complicated arithmetic like this, it's important to practice what you've learned so it will really make sense. So be sure to try some exercise problems on your own. As always, thanks for watching Math Antics, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, so that is for our video. And if you still don't understand, just read it, just watch it again to fully understand this video. So additional information, additional lesson for adding and subtracting dissimilar fraction. So alam ko dito kayo medyo mas nahihirapan. So example, 7 and 2. Our denominator is 7 and 2. 1/2 plus 3 over 7. So dapat magkapareho yung denominator. So if 2 and 7 has no common factor, pwede natin i-multiply. So 7 and 2, or you could use skip counting. So skip counting by 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 7, 14. Kasi kinukuha natin yung common multiple. Least common multiple, LCM, para maging LCD. Least common denominator. So you could use skip counting or the ladder method or simply multiply 2 and 7 kapag walang common factor ang 7 tsaka 2 o yung denominator nyo. So, let us have 14. So, since 14, what makes 14 mula sa 2? Nag-multiply ka ng 7. No? So, yung 14, 7 para maging 14 din ay 2. So, kaya parang nag-multiply na kayo ng 7 times 2. So, ano ang sunod na gagawin? 14, kung ano yung pinag-divide, multiply yung sa baba, yun din pang multiply sa taas. 7 naging 14 dahil times 2. So, yung 3 times 2, magiging 6. 2 naging 14 dahil times 7. So, 1 times 7 is 7. Ganun din. And so, 7 plus 6 is 13 over 14. Since 13 over 14 is simplified form, wala ng factor, that would be our final answer. 13 over 14. Another, how about 7 and 5? Skip count by 7, skip count by 5. So that is 35. So 7 naging 35. Bakit? Times 5. So yung 3 will also be multiplied by 5. Kaya magiging 15. Yung 5 naging 35 kasi times 7. So 1 times 7, 7. 15 plus 7 is 22 over 35. 22 over 35 has no common factor. Okay? Wala na common factor yan kasi yung 22 ay 11 and 2 and 35 is 7 and 5 kaya wala. So that will be your final answer. How about 4, 7 plus 3, 8? 8 and 7 is 8 times 7 is 56. So 56, 7 naging 56 ay times 8. So 4 times 8 is 32. Then 8 sa 56 times 7. So 3 times 7 is 21. And so, pareho silang 56, denominator 56. 32 plus 21 is 53. So 53 over 56. So 5 and 3, 15. So yan po yun. So 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9. So kung ano pinag-divide mo, o ano yung pinag-multiply mo sa baba, yun din sa taas. So 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. So 19 over 5. How about this one? It is improper fraction kasi mas malaki ang numerator sa denominator. Ano pwede natin gawin dyan? So we need to simplify it by dividing. How many 15 goes into 19? So 19 divided by 15. So which is 1. This is 15. So 19 minus 15 is 4. So what is our final answer? So it is 1 as a whole number. Then yung remainder is our numerator. Reminder, paikot po yan. Clockwise. Paikot, parang clock. Pag ganon. And then the denominator will still be 15. And so, our final answer, since 4 and 15 ay wala ng common factor, so the final answer would be 1 and 4 over 15. Okay po. So, 3 and 11, 33. So, 3 times 11, 33. So, yan po yan. So, 15 plus 22 is 37. So, improper fraction ulit. So, pwede natin magawa yan mentally. So, how many 33 ang nasa 37? Isa. Then, 37 minus 33. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37. It is 4. Yung susobra, yun yung remainder, di ba? And then, copy the denominator, 33. Di ba? We can do it mentally. So, let's have 3 and 6. Pasin mo, 3 and 6. Ang LCD po nila ay 6. Okay? How about 4 and 20? Ang LCD po niyan ay 20. How about 5, 15 and 30? Ang LCD po niyan ay 30. If you know na yung number ng isa ay dadaan sa kabila, 15, 30, 30, 60. So, ang LCD po niyan is yung higher number. Okay? Example, 21 and 7. What is the LCD? 21. Do you get me? Another one, 8 and 2. Ano LCD niyan? LCD is 8. Kasi 2 ay dadaan sa 8. So, LCD ay 8. Hindi mo nabilang ang 8 sa 2. Di po ba? So, yun po yung LCD. Okay? So, let's continue. So, LCD is 6. So, 6 divided by 3 or 3 times 3 maging 6 ay 2. So, 2 times 2 ay 4. And now, 6 and remain 6 pa yung sila 6. Kakapin lang niya yun. Okay? So, it is 5 over 6. 4 times 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay? So, that is 311 plus 1, 6. 18 over 66 and excuse me, 11 over 66. Okay. Now, how about this one? 5 over 12 plus 3 over 8. So, the LCD of 8 and 12 by skip counting, 12, 24, 8, 16, 24 is 24. Okay? 12 naging 24 is times 2. So, yung 5 ka times 2 mo rin, which makes 10. And 8 naging 24 times 3. So, if you also multiply the numerator by 3, it would give you 9. So, 10 plus 9 is equal to 19 over 24. Okay po? So, kapag subtraction naman po, if subtraction, subtract. So, 10 minus 9 is 1. 1 over 24. Ganun lang din po iyon. How about example, this one? 11 and 5. Obviously, walang factor ang 5 sa 11. So, it is 5 times 11. What is the LCD? The LCD is 55. So, the same process. 11 naging 55 is because times 5. So, 3 times 5 is 15. 5 naging 55 times 11. 1 times 11 is 11. So, 15 minus 11 is 4. So, the answer is 4 over 55 since wala naman pong factor ang 4 and 55. Wala silang common factor. O, ito yung sinabi ko kanina. 2 and 10. Alam mo ba na si 2 sa 10? So, ang LCD niya is 10. So, kapag parehas silang 10, so 10, 10, kaya parehas lang po lalabas na numerator. 3 over 10. And dito sa taas, 2 times 5 is 10. So, 1 times 5 is 5. So, 5 plus 3, 5 minus 3 is 2 over 10. Is this the final answer? No. Because 2 and 10 have common factor. Di ba pwede silang i-divide sa 2? Sa 2 over 2. Or pwede nyo cancelling yan as 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 sa 2 ay 5. Kung ano pinag-divide nyo sa taas, yun din pa-divide nyo sa baba. Okay po, this is the process of cancellation. Okay? 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So, our final answer will be 1 over 5. So, this will be our final answer. Malinaw po ba? Okay. For your activity, answer the following questions. So, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay po? So, if you want to try, pause this video and try to answer the following questions. Okay po? So, start pausing the video and start answering now. Okay, since you have continued or start playing, so let us check. So this will be your final answer. So 1 over 27. Letter B, 13 over 12 is not in simplified form. It is 1 and 1/12. So letter C is 9 over 20. Letter D is 1 and 1 over 9. Letter E is 1 and 13 over 28. And letter F is 2 over 21. Okay? So that's the end of our lesson. So repeat this video if you have hard time to understand and study the lessons well. Okay? God bless and thank you.